This one mistake might be affecting the power and accuracy of your smash.
It's a common mistake we see amongst a lot of players, but you need to know how to fix it.
Well, in this video, we're going to give you 3 causes for this mistake.
And then we're going to take you through how to fix it in your own time.
So David, what is this common mistake we see affecting people's smash?
Well, it's what happens when we contact the shuttle on our smash, and we don't see people often squaring that face up with the shuttle as well as it can be, and what that's going to do is cause you to slice the shuttle, 1, slowing your smash down, but 2, sending it off in the direction you don't want it to go in.
So let's just add a little bit more detail. Why is squaring the face so important when it comes to a smash?
Well, 1, we need to obviously make sure our smash is as good as it can be. So a smash is a powerful shot. We need to make sure we're getting sort of as much power as we need out of that, as we want especially. So as we square that face up, that is going to maximize that. If we come in and slice it slightly, naturally it's going to slow that shuttle down. But 2, commonly if we're getting that face not quite square, that face isn't now pointing down the direction we want to hit the shuttle. It's going to cause it to come off at a slightly different angle. So 1, either that shuttle is going to come too far inwards towards our opponent, or 2, it's actually going to go outside the court.
And David, what's very important there that you've already mentioned is obviously most people associate smash with power. They want to hit it as hard as they possibly can. Actually, accuracy, extremely important, as you just said. If we're slightly slicing that shuttle, we're not going to be able to hit that placement as close to the line as we want to.
Now, how do you know if you are slicing the shuttle? Well, you can actually hear it. This first smash, I'm going to slightly slice. And you can hear a bit of a feathery sound, that high-pitched sound to the shot. Now, if I get a squared face on it, you can hear that much louder thud. You can hear it coming straight off the middle of the strings. That's the noise you're really looking for.
So if you are enjoying this video and want to improve your smash further, make sure you head over to thebadmintonzone.com, where we have a whole coaching plan based on improving your smash. So one last area I want to address is also why the accuracy is so important. So for example, if a game of singles and we're up in this corner and we hit a really good straight smash close to the line, our recovery would be very much straightforward and pressing forwards onto the net. Yeah. But if we slice the shuttle unintentionally, that drifted a little bit towards the middle, it then opens up the cross block a lot more for our opponent, so we wouldn't necessarily be able to push straight forwards.
So we've now identified the mistake that is causing you to slice your smash. Let's talk about why this might be happening. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is actually the forearm rotation. Dean, do you want to take us through that?
Yeah, I mean, if we're using a good forehand grip, kind of shaking hands grip. Now, as I come through with my racket, if I didn't kind of add any forearm rotation, I'd almost be presenting the frame towards the shuttle. Yeah. Okay, and that's where we kind of get our slices from. That's where we want to be hitting that slice. But if we're looking to hit a smash, what we're trying to do is get that racket back square as we make contact, as you've referenced, David, but that requires a lot of forearm rotation. Now, the mistake we currently see quite a lot of is people under-rotate. Yeah. Pronate their forearm. So that leaves this face a little bit, this angle, which is causing an unintentional slice.
You've got quite an interesting way to get people to fix this issue. Go on, take us through that.
But it's more just part of the swing is kind of feeling almost like you're throwing a javelin. Now, that's not for long sections of the swing, but if you're trying to isolate this forearm rotation alone and what it feels like, it's okay to kind of maybe feel like you're starting this position, almost as if you're going to throw a javelin. So so the butt of the handle here kind of pointing forwards. And it's all about how you unwind that kind of javelin right at the top. So we're not staying in this position, because again, that would promote the slice, but we're trying to feel like we're coming in there and then rotating at the top, again, to get that face nice and square.
And what people will be so surprised about is that's the portion of the swing that creates the power. Yes. Like, you can stand at the back of the court in this position, snap your forearm through, and you'll be able to hit a really powerful shot. And actually the long length of the backswing and the follow through actually doesn't really add too much as well. So,
and it's also breaking down part of that swing. Yeah. So sometimes people always want to practice the whole swing. Now, of course, there's a lot going on. We've got the footwork, the movement, the wind up. If it's that you're struggling with this forearm rotation and you're lacking that consistency with slicing, don't be afraid to isolate part of it. Get used to that part of the motion first and then add it back into the whole swing. So David, point number 2, and we actually got a comment on this on our YouTube channel very, very recently. So what are we looking at here? Well,
it's actually about sort of over-rotating and almost swinging across our body. But what people understand is when we swing through, yes, we want that racket to sort of come across us slightly to get that nice full extension. The issue is they're almost pulling across their body when they swing, and they're really getting that cross body too early. what we're looking for is, as we go to contact the shuttle, as we're swinging through, it's almost straight to begin with. That squares the face up, and then this can come down and slightly across our body, allowing your chest to turn and your body to then come through to follow the shot.
So if you take your hitting position for me here, so obviously very nicely side-on position here, and what we sometimes see is people almost rotating too early. And what we want to try and get into as David starts to swing and stretch up with his racket, as David's already mentioned, that everything is then square. Square hips, square chest, torso, racket square, and then it's then the follow through coming through after. We don't want to feel like everything's pulling across too early, because as David's already mentioned, we're going to pull the shuttle wide.
So how can we go about quickly fixing this? Well, number one, I want you to start feeling like when you go to swing, your lower body's the first thing that goes. We often see people start turning their chest too quickly, trying to create too much power. Lower body stays too still, and that just drags your chest straight across your body, causing you to pull the shuttle to the side. Number two, especially if you're in this round head corner, Dean, when we're going to hit this straight smash, I want you to feel like you're really extending that arm down the line first and then letting it come across your body, instead of feeling like you just rotate as quickly as you can. Now the last one is a big one and something we talk about in a lot of our videos, Dean, and that is grip tightness. Why is this causing people to not really square that face up?
I think we get a lot of power from almost squeezing the fingers upon contact, and if we're already too tight, we basically have nowhere to go, and that power's already been used. So it's really important that we're kind of almost just supporting the racket. Then it's more about when we're then coming into smash, as we're about to make contact, that we then get that squeeze. You can even see there, that is just the fingers, and that power coming through there is generated.
And if Dean gets back up into that position again, as he comes through, if he doesn't squeeze and he's too tight here, it doesn't finally get that last bit of rotation to square that face perfectly up. So if that tightness is really stopping you getting that face square, that little squeeze at the end squares it up. It's going to really hit a good smash for you. Now, I don't want you to fall into this little trap, and that's keeping the face square at all times, Dean. And we see people sometimes change their grip to almost a panhandle grip and keep it square. Can never go wrong with that. But you can, like, it really affects your swing. So Dean, why is that happening?
It's more the fact that you won't get any forearm rotations, what we spoke earlier about, and almost maybe people have watched this video so far and gone, oh yeah, no, I'm very good at getting the racket head square, and that's probably because it's kind of square the whole way through the overhead swing. So why do we not want that? You're missing out on being able to slice a shuttle, which adds a lot of variation. And also, as we've spoken about already, this forearm pronation at the top here does generate a lot of power. So it's worth just going back and making sure you're using that correct forehand grip. So we hope you enjoyed this video on the hidden mistake that is affecting your smash.
What I want you to do, go away, listen to your smash. If it sounds a bit off, try a few of these fixes and see if you can maximize the power and accuracy in your smash.